What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, and today's guest just defeated Meaghan Penning by a unanimous decision at Peak Fighting 28. It's always great catching up with today's guest, Lydia Warren. Lydia, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, and looking forward to talking with you about a fight. The last time you were on, you were talking about a viral TikTok video from your other job. We'll ask about that type of stuff a little bit later on here, but let's get into business with this most recent fight. For you, 11 months in between fights, obviously close to the year mark there. Just how excited were you just to get in there and to compete again? Obviously, you're happy with the performance, you got the win, but just the fact of getting a fight booked and scheduled and competing again.
Um, Honestly, I was really happy with it. It was probably the most comfortable I felt like before going into the cage. Like I could not wait to fight. And like usually, obviously like I'm always really scared like during camp and stuff. But then like, it gets to fight night and I'm still a little nervous. But like this time I was like, I can't wait to fight. Like I was like hurry up to all the fights before mine. Like I just was like so ready to be in there. That was good. That was refreshing to like feel. So like no like any sort of like ring rust or anything like that. It was just like all just like I was made to do this type thing.
And I know when we were speaking before we came on air here, you said something along the lines of like you fight to the death every single day in practice, and obviously we know that you train out of Jackson Wink, great gym down there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So just talk about that a little bit, like just like all that preparation. Because even though you're 11 months in between fights, it's 11 months of you training at a great high level gym. Just how much did all of that work kind of help with this whole entire process?
Yeah, I mean, like yeah, exactly. Like there is a lot of time in between like the fights, but as far as that's concerned, like I don't take the time off of training. Like I'm constantly improving myself. And I'm constantly like going with the best, sparring with the best and doing as best as I can do every day in the gym, you know what I mean? Because I mean, I'm scared before I fight. Like I can't imagine not doing that leading up to a fight. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm so scared of getting like beat and so scared of just like all of that that it's just like I have to be as good as possible at all aspects of it. And so I feel like that puts me ahead of the curve because I have seen a lot of people that just they almost like train for fun or like they train like the things they like. And I'm just not one of those people.
Gotcha. So now, one of the things that is pretty interesting for fighters that are in your position, where you only had one professional fight. This was now your second. Usually, like the fun thing to watch with fighters young in their career is that growth in between fights. Just talk a little bit about that too. Like, what would you say was kind of maybe the biggest improvement here, professional fight number two, as opposed to maybe professional fight number one?
I think number one, I chilled a little bit too much. Um, and this one, I was happy with the fact it was the first time that I felt that, somebody was like worthy to be in the cage with me too. You know what I'm saying? Like gave me any sort of like adversity whatsoever. And I responded well to it. I was patient. I was calculated, on my attacks. Like I pushed the pressure the entire time. I pushed a high pace which I had been working on doing in sparring and everything. So like watching it all come together was good. I was less of like my last one, I think I was more of like a counter striker, which is like totally fine. I'm good at that, but I know that I'm good at that. This time I was like, I'm going to pressure the entire time. And I did that and I felt good about it. So just bringing all the aspects of training that I've been working on and putting them into, practice in a fight is cool to see.
And definitely that pressure and pace was a big thing in this fight. In fact, your gym shared a photo afterwards on Instagram, and that was the biggest thing they mentioned was the fact that you were able to apply that pressure the way that you guys were working on there. Just wanted to ask, too, I know a lot of fighters, right, it's easier said than done. A lot of fighters will say, hey, I want to come out and I want to set the pace, but we've seen fighters try to do it. They have adrenaline dumps and die out. Just, how comfortable
Yeah.
did you feel in there once you started applying that pressure? Like, did you ever have a moment you're like, oh man, I might fade, or oh, I'm getting tired, or were you pretty,
No,
pretty good the whole time?
no, I could have gone three, four more rounds. Like I was really surprised. Like I remember after my last fight being like, oh, I didn't even get tired. But like this fight, I really did not get tired. Like, and the pace was higher. And I really was not tired at all. Like I didn't want to think about getting tired. It was, and that was something me and my coach had talked about like prior to this fight was the fact of like, I have like trust my cardio, trust this, and trust my pressure that I can do these things, that I do these things on a constant basis. I'm doing rounds that are hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm training hard wrestling for hours and hours on end, and I can push that pace, and I know that I can do that. So like putting that into practice, I didn't even think about it. I not once was like, oh, I need to pace myself. Like, no, I was like, I can go rounds and rounds and rounds like this because I know that I can, you know? So that was cool to watch or like to experience as of myself, you know?
Definitely, and it's a major tool too in the fight game, so it's definitely gonna be something that's gonna help you out as you go further with the career here. Let's talk striking now too with this fight here. Obviously, pressure's a big part of it, but to apply pressure, you have to be very active, always throwing, always trying to engage and stuff. Talk about the striking end of this fight. Just how did you feel? Things went in that department.
I felt good. The whole point of this fight was pretty much to just keep it striking. It kind of sucks because I have like developed my wrestling so much in the last year that like I would love to like show that more. And I did show it in this fight, but the whole thing was that she was just a jujitsu girl. So it was just like keep it standing as much as possible. I did end up taking her down like three times, which is fine. Like my wrestling's strong. I felt great there, like my jujitsu, whatever. Um, I wish I could have done that more, but that just wasn't the game plan. It was just wasn't in the card. So I look forward to, my next fight being able to like to show my wrestling more because I really love to wrestle like a lot. But like the striking aspects of it, I felt strong. I felt good. It was my first time fighting a southpaw, which I like going to southpaws. Michelle's my like main training partner, and she's a southpaw, and so I'm used to doing that. So I wasn't really worried about that aspect at all. I'm blessed to be able to train with a bunch of southpaws. So yeah, I mean, I felt strong with the striking, especially.
Well, don't worry. As your career goes on, you're definitely going to have more opportunities to showcase the wrestling skills you've been working on. But like you said, right, you were working on applying pressure and pace and all the different stuff like that in the gym. You were able to do that successfully in the fight. So with all that being said, I mean, just how happy are you right now to be sitting here, another win underneath the belt, everything you've been working on kind of came full circle. I'm sure it's got to be a great feeling right now.
Yeah, of course. I'm very blessed to have another win under my belt and to be able to do all the things that I wanted to do. Obviously, we all want to finish, and I wish I could have gotten a finish, but it is what it is. I hunted the entire time, and I came out with the win, so I'm blessed for that. And it's good, coming up in the rankings or whatever, coming up, starting out, to have these like long fights, to have these like 3-round wars, to get comfortable in there, to know that I can go that pace for that long, especially if I am gonna get a title shot. That adds 2 more rounds, which I feel comfortable. After my last 2 performances, I feel comfortable going 5 rounds. I don't see myself having an issue. So that's, overall, it is a blessing to be able to do that.
And I was going to ask with the title shot a little bit later on in the interview, but since you just brought it up now, we'll head there right now. Is that what is next for you? I know you made the call out on the broadcast afterwards. That clip's been shared around social media now. Is that indeed the plan? You absolutely want that 125-pound title fight with Peak next?
I mean, I asked for it. I haven't really talked to them much. I've just been taking the last few days to just kind of chill. Uh, but yeah, I mean, if they're open to it, I don't see why not. I was gonna make the jump to 25 after that. The cut's just getting a little too hard. Maybe one day I'll make it back down to 115, but for now, I'm just built a lot different than I used to be, and so I see myself being able to consistently fight at 25 a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, if they're open to it, I'm open to it, and I know the title's vacant, so we'll see.
And while we're on the topic of what's next, do you at least have like a time frame maybe of when you want to get back in there? I'm sure you probably don't want to wait another 11 months. You probably want to get in there sooner, I would imagine.
Yeah, 11 months is kind of a wait. But I would think probably like August I'll look to fight again. We'll see what Peak says or what my options are, and we'll whenever God's plan. That's how I live my life. But I'd like to say like August if I could pick a time.
All right, so we've mentioned now a few times just about the gym and about things you've been working on. They did share a photo afterwards. I think I mentioned that before too with all of you guys, and a lot of big smiles on the faces. Obviously, coaches are very happy with the performance, but I know all the great coaches do this. They build you up, but then when you get back to the gym, they'll start breaking things down. Could improve here, could improve there. Have you guys sat down and kind of went over all that stuff, or is it still just all the smiles and everybody's happy, business as usual?
To be honest, my coaches were probably more encouraging than I was about the fight. After I was like, what the heck? Like, I wanted to finish. Like, I was kind of mad at myself. And like, I was like, dang, did I do a bad job? And then like, they made me sit down and watch and they're like, no, like you look like watch yourself. But I'm always, you're your biggest critic. So I wasn't like super happy with my performance, but overall, they were. So, obviously there is like few things that we can fix, but for the most part, they were happy with how composed I was, which I already knew. That's like probably my biggest strong suit is my composure when I fight. I get real comfortable in there. But overall, yeah, they're pretty happy with my performance.
Well, that's a good thing then, and it's good that the coaches are more encouraging than the fighter, and a lot of times it goes the other way around there. I do want to ask you too. I know you mentioned about Michelle Watterson being your main training partner. I know she was at the fights, definitely. I could have sworn I saw.
She was the
she on the
commentator.
broadcast team? What was that?
She was commentating.
I was right. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought I saw someone that she was commentating. So was she? I'm sure she wasn't biased at all towards you in the commentary, was she?
She was trying not to. I know that she was trying not to. But it is what it is. They knew who they were hiring at the same time. She's my main training partner. She's one of my best friends, and you hired her. So it is what it is. Like you try not to be biased, but like I don't think Peak really cared that much. They were like, whatever. We already know what the deal is. But she did a great job of not being like super biased, to be honest. So.
And I know she has experience too with broadcasting. I think before the UFC went to ESPN, back when they were still on Fox, she did a couple different shows. Do you
I've
think
seen her
maybe
do
that's
it a few times.
okay? I was gonna say, do you think that's maybe in the future there more for her here when she, as the career goes on, that might be a great transitioning point for her somewhere someday?
I think she would be great for that. I don't see why not. I haven't really talked to her about it. I don't really know if that's like what she wants to do or anything like that, but I think she would be great at that. She has a great talking voice. She's very like comfortable, very chill. She does a great job. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, definitely be fun to see her do it again. Like I said, I remember when she did it and she was very good at it. Obviously, she's a big fan favorite, so that always, helped with broadcast teams and whatnot there. So obviously, I know she still has a lot in store for the fight game yet, though. So we're looking forward to seeing what she has in store there as well. But just anyway, to wrap things up today, I know I said in the beginning I wanted to ask you about the other job again. How have things been there? I'm hoping, obviously, better than the last time we did an interview and you had to embarrass somebody on TikTok. And actually, you know what? Before you even get into that, explain that story again for everybody in case they missed that somewhere.
I forgot about it, to be honest. This guy was taking pictures of me, and I ended up turning my phone on and started recording him. And and then it went viral, and like a bunch of people saw it, and it was like a big deal. But as far as like that goes, I mean, nobody's bothered me since. I've been pretty low key at work for the most part. I just, I always go, I do my job, and I leave. Like I don't really want to be like out and about anyways. So everyone pretty much leaves me alone. And especially as like my platform grows and stuff. Sorry, my dog's drinking. I don't know if you can hear that. But especially as like my platform grows, like more people know who I am, so they're more respectful than, a lot of people have been in the past.
All right, well, it's good that things have, started to calm down there. You don't have any more pain in the ass customers there. But just one other thing, I guess, just along the lines of working and training, just how's that whole balance been? I know it's not an easy thing to do, and I know one day, the plan is to just be full-time fighting, not doing all that type of stuff. But just how's the balance been?
The balance has been fine. When I'm in camp, I don't work as much as I did before. I'll work like this last camp, I'd work like 3 days a week, one of them being like a double. So that way I had the rest of the week to, just train all day. And then obviously after my fight, I've been working like every day just to make money because why not? I don't really have anything else to do because I'm kind of, I'm forcing myself to take a little bit of time off just because I've been in back-to-back camps without like fights happening. So I've been in back-to-back camps for like a year. So I'm like, Lydia, like take this week off. Like I've still been like jogging in the morning and like doing like light stuff, but I don't want to do anything live this week. And I'm like forcing myself not to. So yeah, I've just been working, keep myself busy.
Lydia, great stuff as always. Really appreciate the time. Just last thing now before you head out, social media, so people know where to follow you at. Any like management, sponsorship type stuff that you got to plug. Floor is yours.
No sponsorships or anything to plug, but my all my social media is Lydia P. Warren. That's that for literally everything. If it's not that, it's not me.